Welcome to Weaving Weird Studio. My name is Sig and this is my channel. All right, let's get started. So as I mentioned before, the materials that I am going to show you for this project are simply what I am using. Your mileage may be different according to the yarn that you might be working with, or the size, the particular hand or head you might be making this project for. But we'll go over all that here in just a moment. So first, let's just get started with what I'm going to use for this particular project. Size 6 chunky yarn, 1 measuring tape, 1 ball of pink yarn, size 3, 1 ball of white eyelash novelty yarn, 2 sizes of crochet hooks, 1 size N and 1 size D, and 1 large yarn needle. So the first thing I need to do is I need to measure the top part of my palm, or the top part of the palm of whomever it is you are making these mitts for. And I need to measure their circumference. And the circumference of mine is between 7.5. That puts me at about a medium. And then I also want to measure or get an idea of the length of the mitt I want it to be. So I'll use my measuring tape in order to kind of figure that out, so that I can kind of figure out how long I need this rectangle I'm going to crochet to be, which will serve as my fingerless mitt. So I've already determined that I am going to need 16 single crochets for the yarn that I'm using today. It's particularly chunky and it moves pretty quickly. I'm going to skip the first chain next to my hook, and then I'm going to insert my hook into that second foundation chain, and I'm going to make my single crochet, and then I'm going to single crochet each consecutive stitch. What that will leave me is with 15 single crochets. I'm going to chain 1. That's my turning chain. And then I'm going to turn my work. And then the second stitch from the hook, I'm going to insert my hook. And I'm going to begin again crocheting a single crochet in each stitch to complete my second row. Now, for the length that I want, I am simply going to crochet 10 rows, and that'll be perfect length for my purposes. You, of course, can crochet as many rows as you like in order to make your mitt as long or as short as suits you. And we'll be right back. So now that we're back, I have my rectangular swatch. It's my 15 stitches long and my 10 rows high. And what I'm going to do is, because I'm using this particular piece for my right hand, I'm going to go and I'm going to fold it over. And I'm going to determine that I need to sew down a couple of rows, and then maybe get 3 rows down from the bottom up, and that will give me my thumb. And it will be the beginning of my mitt. Okay, so you see that I've sewn this up. I've left this spot, an open spot, for my thumb. This mitt fits my hand just as I want it to. I have to go ahead and sew that in. There you go. As you can see. Now, if I want to stop here, I certainly can. The eyelash novelty yarn is is optional at best, but I'm going to go ahead and put that on. And so I will be using my size D needle. And then, of course, the eyelash yarn. And what I'm going to do is I am going to just start attaching it to the edges, or start crocheting it right around the edges. And so this eyelash yarn is pretty thin. And so I can get 3 or 4 single crochets into any single loop easy. I don't want it too full, but I don't want it too sparse either. I want to just give a nice amount of that eyelash thread and extra little floofy stuff, just to give kind of the impression of fur, but nothing too thick and crazy. So I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to do this single crochet along the edges on the top part, the bottom part of my mitt, and also around the thumb as well. And then I will be right back. I'm going to go ahead and do that, and then I will be right back to show you what needs to be done next. Okay, so now that we're back with the mitt, you can see how that ended up with just that little bit of eyelash yarn, the novelty yarn. You could use, you know, the fake fur yarn for this. I happen to like the eyelash yarn because, well, it's a little more subtle and I don't want too much furriness going on. And that's what it looks like with my hand in it. Perfect. And the great thing about this set is that, particularly for the kids, it's totally functional. They can wear it for play, for dress up. They can wear it as everyday attire on a colder day. It's so versatile and it's so cute. Okay, so the next thing we're going to want to do is put the little paws, the little paw pads onto the mitt. And so I'm going to do that with this pink yarn. And again, with my size D hook. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to make an adjustable ring. And I'm going to put 6 single crochets into that ring. I'm going to tighten up that ring, slip stitch into that first single crochet. Make a chain, and then I'm going to single crochet 2 single crochets into that stitch. And then I'm going to single crochet 2 additional single crochets in each of the following stitches. So that will leave me with a 12 count, and that will be 1 paw pad. I'm going to cut myself kind of a decent sized tail, because I'm going to also use this tail to sew my little paw pad onto the glove, onto the mitt. And that will be my first one. You will want a total of 8 paw pads, 4 paw pads for each mitt. Then the next thing we're going to want is the palm pad. So the palm of the paw. And that we're going to start the same way. So I made my adjustable ring. I'm going to single crochet 6 single crochets. Tighten up my ring. Slip stitch into that first single crochet. And then I'm going to do 2 single crochets in the same stitch. And then 2 single crochets in each of the following stitches, which will give me 12 total in this row. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to do a single crochet in that same stitch. Then I'm going to do 2 single crochets in the next stitch, a single crochet, and then 2 single crochets. I'll continue that pattern on until I have a total of 18 stitches all the way around. Then I'm going to slip stitch, single or chain, and then I'm going to do a single crochet in that same stitch and a single crochet in the next stitch. And then the next stitch I'm going to do 2 single crochets. So 1 single crochet, the next one 1 single crochet, and then the next one 2 single crochets. And I will continue that pattern all the way. And then as I finish that off, I'll leave a tail, a long tail again for sewing. And I will want 2 of these, 1 palm pad for each mitt. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to figure out where I want these pads to sit. So I think probably somewhere like there and somewhere like that maybe. I'm going to put that one, kind of fit that one in the middle. And then put these somewhere like so. And I'll be right back. Okay, so we're finished with the mitts. Aren't they cute? Okay, so I've taken the measurements of my head and I've decided how many inches the circumference of my head is and about how tall I think I need my cap to be in order to really give me some ears that stick out. So I figured out I needed to have 17 chains. So 17 chains for the height of my hat. Now the hat I'm going to do a little differently than the mitts. I'm actually going to do a back loop ribbed stitch. And I'll show you what that looks like for those of you who don't know what that is. And I'll just be doing single crochets, and I will need to have 42 rows. The 42 rows will actually be this add up to the circumference of my head, or to the circumference opening of what I want the hat to be. So I'm going to go on single crochet in that next chain from the second chain from the hook, and then I'm going to continue to crochet everything in a single crochet for the length of this row. Okay, so now that I've got my 16 single crochets, I'm going to make a chain. That's going to be my turning chain. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to continue to single crochet. I'm going to hit the second stitch from my hook. So this is the first stitch, this is the second stitch for those of you who don't quite know yet. And then I'm going to do my single crochets in the back loops only. So just like that. And a single crochet just in the back loop of that stitch. So you can see that I'm going to have a little bit of a ridge. And this will be the beginning of my rib. So then I'm going to make a chain, my turning chain. And I'm going to then again insert my hook into the back loop of that second stitch from the hook. And I'm going to single crochet. I'm going to continue this for the length of the row. And that's just what I'm going to keep doing. I'm going to repeat that. So as you can see, this will create that ribbing for me. And I will show you I have a hat that's already started. And so we'll put this aside and we'll just jump over here to this. So you can see this is my ribbing. And then this, of course, is going to be my height. So these will be my ears. And this is the base, will be the base of the hat. And so what I did was I just went ahead already and I single crocheted in some more of that eyelash yarn. Now what I'm going to do next is I'm going to fold this in the back like so. And I'm actually going to sew this up. So I'm also going to sew across the top of the hat as well. And I'll be right back. All right. So as you can see, I've sewn the back and then also the top of the head closed. So now I have a kind of a nice little squarish top. You can see how these are going to make great ears. And so the next thing I want to do is sew. So I'm going to kind of put this on my head, and you will either put this on your head or put it on the head of whoever it is you're making it for. And you're going to figure out about where their head sits in the hat. And then you're going to sew, kind of follow that line. It doesn't have to be perfect. It just kind of has to be a general estimation. So you're going to kind of sew the shape of where the head might sit. And then when you sew that, these will cause these ears to become more pronounced. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to sew that so that I can better show you what I'm talking about. And then we'll move on to the next step, the final finishing touches to really bring some character to this cat head. Okay, so now you can see kind of the ears. And so basically what I did was I just took my yarn and I started from the center and I kind of eyeballed about where I needed to make my stitches according to how the hat fit my head. And I basically did a hidden running stitch down on the inside and then back again. And as I did that, I cinched my fabric so that I could get these great cat ear shapes. And I did it on the other side as well. And then the next thing we're going to do, and I will show you how to make this here in just a moment, is put the inside of our cat ear onto the hat. And we'll be right back to show you how to do that. Okay, so now that we have our pink again, we're going to start by making an adjustable ring. And I'm going to make my slip stitch. And then I'm going to crochet 2 chains because I'm going to do double crochets around this. So what I want to do is I want 7 double crochets in this ring. I'm going to pull my ring tight. And then I'm going to chain 3 and I'm going to turn. That's my turning chain. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to then go ahead and crochet in that same stitch, that turning chain stitch. And in the next one, a double crochet, and then in the third, a double crochet. Now in that 4th stitch, I'm going to put 3 double crochets into that stitch. And then I'm going to put 1 double crochet in the next stitch, 1 double crochet in the 6th stitch, and then my last double crochet into that 7th stitch. Now I'm going to chain 3. And I'm going to double crochet again in that same stitch. And in the next one, and in the 3rd, and in the 4th, and then right here in this 5th space, I'm going to double crochet 5 double crochets. And then I'm going to continue to do another crochet in each stitch on the other side down. Okay, and then I'm going to do it one more time. Okay, so I'm going to single crochet all the way up to that middle double crochet right there at the very tip, and in that one space I'm going to put another 5 double crochets, and then I'll do a single crochet in each stitch on the other side. Okay, so now I have that. I should have actually left a longer tail so I could sew it into place, but oh well, too late now. I just have to cut another thread. But anyway, so now I'm going to take my eyelash and I'm going to single crochet that eyelash all the way around. And when I return, I will have everything finished and sewn on. And there you have it. A great cat hat with some cat paw mittens. I hope you found value in this tutorial, and if you've stuck with me this long, then I hope you hit the like and subscribe button, also the notification bell, so you can keep up on all my new content. Thanks for being with me today. I appreciate our time together, and as usual, stay crafty.